and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode
54, I think?
54. God damn it. 1 week, I'm not going to do that, I swear. As always, I'm your host, KCW, who's completely inept and forgets what episode we're doing every single week. And with me, we have Slicer.
Running gags are great, aren't they? That's just where we're going to claim it is.
Yeah, it's a gag.
It's not incompetence, it's a joke.
Totally unintentional. No, I mean totally intentional.
Yeah, you're right the first time.
I mean it's intentional. Shit!
You
No!
were right the first time.
Oh, my ruse has been found out. Okay. So, also we have Zero.
I just ate a muffin. It was pretty good.
Everyone else is pretty much mad at Zero because he fucking missed out on the inaugural episode of Manga Reflux. I can't even say the fucking name.
I'm not mad at him. I was worried. You know.
I'm mad at him.
Sorry. I didn't mean for it to be this way.
Nice intro, by the way. And we have Kenshi.
Hi, I'm Kenshi618, and I punched a horse in the eye once. He was chewing on my hand, but that's a different story for a different time.
I actually have a grandpa who punched a horse square in the nose because it bit him.
Yeah,
Really it was a very mean horse. It was no longer mean.
Okay, badass level equivalent of Bernie Burns. By the way, Bernie Burns not that badass at all. Okay, so that's not as impressive as you make it sound. In fact, that's less badass because Bernie Burns did it because it was eating his wife's hand at the time. So,
wow.
You weren't even saving someone in danger, you were just mad at it.
Well, how would you react if a horse started pulling at your surgical stitching?
Yeah, I wasn't talking about you, Slicer, I was talking about Ken, that was his intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was biting me. What do you want me to do? Not hit
Drop
it?
kick it. Drop kick it.
A horse?
It was behind
Hitting,
him.
it's fine that you hit it, I'm just saying it's not as good as what he did.
Fine. Sorry, I'm not a hero, but I told you I'm not a nice person.
Yeah.
If you're a horse.
We can't all be we can't all be heroic like Bernie Burns, apparently.
Damn straight. Fucking Bernie Burns. Titan among men. Anyway. First... Right. We're not doing the recap anymore in the podcast because we did it already. It's come out on Tuesday, hopefully. So,
Hopefully you saw it.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And I slept through it, so I'm not there. They probably talked bad about me at least once.
Did we? I don't remember.
I don't think we did. Maybe briefly.
I don't think we did on the not on the. I don't think we did on the air.
Yeah, I don't think we even... Did we even make mention that he wasn't there?
Don't remember.
We said he was stupid, but we never actually gave a reason why he wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So I guess this is an Easter egg for people who watch the podcast as well. Now.
Yeah. I wonder if the audience will notice that he wasn't there.
I would hope so. I mean...
I'm being really overly mean right now. I'm sorry, Zero. You're a valuable member of the team, of the crew. So, as usual, our first topic is still going to be our first topic, so it's what we're doing. So do what you do when you do what you do, which is going to start with Ken.
Alright. Ken finally has food in his house again.
Yay!
Yeah, that's been a problem for like 9 months. So, I have food, like fresh fruit, pears and strawberries and top ramen. You know, because
Awesome.
that's healthy.
Some of my favorite foods. It's fucking good. Good stuff.
And, of course, almonds. And I was going to get chocolate milk, but I am not going to be at home pretty much any this week, so I would never get a chance to drink it. So,
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, kind of pissed about that. And I also caught a possum. Because that's what
did you
do.
shoot it? We get those
No.
here all the time, and I kind of shoot them with the 22.
Just grab it by the throat
I-
and squeeze it.
Didn't want to shoot. Here's the thing. What I am hunting for are the groundhogs living in my shed that kill those kittens that I talked about a while back. That's what I
Ugh.
want. That's what I want to destroy. I didn't want to destroy this possum. So when I caught it, I just let it go, only for it to go under the shed where the groundhog lives. So my theory is now that there's a colony of stuff under that shed that just all get together and just terrorize things in my backyard.
Or they're
Possums.
now going to fight to the death.
No, they wouldn't. They would have done that already. I'm pretty, because I don't know.
Have you
Maybe
seen
You
they
the
have a
possum
rodent
around?
mafia set up under your shed?
I think I do, because it's like skunks and fucking groundhogs and
Maybe the possum went to
Possums?
take care of things after you let go of him. Maybe he went to settle his last accounts.
maybe because I caught him and he was totally chill about it. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to kill you. You're cool. Go on, do possum stuff.
Yeah, you caught me. What are you going to do about it, huh, punk?
There was a lot I could have done about it, but I was just being a nice person.
The most awesome possum you ever know.
Yeah, it was awesome. I kind of wanted to keep him, but I was like, he's a possum. Let him go. You can't keep a possum, kid.
Possums
Yeah,
are
it's
terrible,
mine.
horrible creatures.
Punk
Why
ass
would you
bitch.
let it go?
Yeah.
I realize that now after seeing where it went, the triumvirate of rodent evil in my backyard. So I should have killed it, but I didn't. That's what I
Well,
get for
you know
having
in the
faith
future
in the
now.
animal kingdom. Yeah, I know in the future. We'll meet again.
You probably will, actually. That's, yeah.
And see, other than that, I am on day, what is it, 6 of a 13-day stretch, and I only have 1 day off tomorrow. That's not a day off, really. So I'm tired.
Mm.
And I also didn't get to. I'm not going to get to train this week because of my schedule, which pisses me off. So I've just been doing a retarded amount of push-ups at work to vent my frustrations. And the thing is, nobody pays attention to me. So I could just drop down to my desk and do push-ups and then pop back. I could do a set of 20, pop back up. No one even notices I went down and did push-ups. No one gives a fuck. No one cared.
Would
No one
they
brings up-
bother you anyway? I mean, that seems like something you just want to, like, leave the guy alone if he starts doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Here's the
Can't
thing.
you-
No one ever. I don't know.
Can't
I'm kind of.
Can't
Go
you
ahead.
have a desk?
Yeah, well, it's not my desk. It's someone else's desk that I use when they're not there during my shift.
I wish I had a desk.
I don't have a desk. I
you
float
work
between
as,
desks.
You work as a fucking... I can't really call you a chef.
You do have a desk, Zero. It's the grill. Or
You have a
the
counter.
counter.
Whatever. I can't adorn that with knickknacks.
You could, but they'd be missing within like 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
They'd
Yeah.
accidentally get cooked in the chicken.
They might fall in the deep fryer.
Yeah.
And then you got that accident one again, and we don't need that to happen again, so.
Yeah, I totally wouldn't reach into that with my hand.
But yeah,
Anything else, Ken?
nah, that's pretty much it. My week's been low key.
Anyway, weird thought jumps into my head and I get Avengers flashbacks. Anyway, get it? Week's been low-key.
Yeah.
That's a terrible pun because it makes no sense. Slicer!
Yes?
You're next.
Alright.
Go. Go.
Well, first thing, Tropico 3. Tropico, I think.
Tropico.
They'd say it in the game, and I'm pretty sure it's Tropico. But anyway, the tutorial in that game is not very good.
No, it isn't.
I mean, it's like it shows you how to plant buildings and hire and select your workers and adjust wages. And that's it. It doesn't tell you how to run the economy. It doesn't tell you how to balance the homes versus your population. It doesn't...
Nope.
Yeah, so that game is really hard because of it. I've briefly looked up other tutorials online, just maybe some guy on YouTube explaining everything as best he can. But I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it, so I haven't found anything.
Are you running a plantation slum?
No. Apparently the most successful way to do things is farm sugar and then upgrade to rum eventually. Make rum out of that sugar.
So, ironically, the best way to do things is to run a plantation slum.
Yeah, pretty much.
Great.
Yep. But that took like 2 days. I don't know. I'm probably never gonna play the game again. I mean, it was fun, but I realize I'm not into that kind of sim management
Yeah.
type thing.
No.
Oh
I'm
well.
not either. I tried SimCity 4 and I tried Tropico 3 as well, and neither of them really grabbed my attention.
Ah.
So,
Next
Yeah.
thing, because Casey gave a bad recommendation on it, I need to play Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. And
mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Which
have
he
it
is
open
doing
right
right
now,
now.
actually. Yeah. It's not great so far, but I also haven't played a modern Naruto game in a while. I think I played one of the Ninja Storms on the PS2.
Fuck is Zero
I
doing?
miss I miss the 2D ones. I miss those. I like those.
You mean the
I don't know
proper
why.
fighting games?
Yeah, the 2D ones. I don't know why I like them so much.
They still do them. There's a series of them on PSP, I think. Ultimate Ninja
Yeah, they-
Heroes or something like
Yeah,
that.
they have those on PSP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
probably.
I still do them.
Yeah, so next thing, I got Walking Dead. See, I wanted to play just Season 2, but I have Season 1 on the Xbox, so my saves would not carry over between systems, so I ended up getting Season 1 as well and playing through that.
Yeah.
My ass hurts from getting railroaded super hard in Chapter 5. It's,
Yeah, it does.
Fair enough.
things
Alright.
happen, and they happen no matter what you do. It is really
That game
stupid.
likes to make you think you have choices and then completely shatter any illusion of choice and just railroad you at many points during the game.
Yep, pretty much. And,
I
I
mean,
mean, you can go, Zero.
Chapter 3, you're actually on a railroad. You're on a train. I mean, how much more obvious can you get?
That's Season 1. I'm talking about Season 2.
Yeah, I know. But Season 1 does that. But Season 2 does it worse.
Yeah. At least in the Season 1, Chapter 3, on the train, you're not really given... There's no illusion of choice there.
Yeah.
In Chapter 5 of Season 2, you're going to try to keep as spoiler-free as possible. You're given the choice to do a bad thing, and it's heavily hinted that it's going to come back to bite you, but you need to do that bad thing. Maybe. Possibly. It actually turns out completely pointless, and it comes back to bite you, no matter what you do. Like, it's the two best friends discovered it. It just,
Yeah.
yeah.
In like
It's
chapter
stupid.
4, in chapter 4, it gives you this choice to save two different people, but no matter what you do, you can only save one. You can't save one of them. No matter what
Yeah.
you do. Like, one of them, if you choose to save that person, you still can't save them.
I wanted to shoot Luke in the dick, by the way, because of that. I happen to really like that character.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. So, despite my complaints, the Season 2 was pretty fun. It was well done, aside from some dialogue stuff we're probably going to end up talking about later. And
Okay.
lastly, yesterday and the day before that, me and some friends set up a zombie survival RP, and it's going well, I guess. I'm a rookie police officer, and I'm at the station right now, and the people started eating each other in the cells, and one of them was a child. So now there's a possibly infected child that I just had to escort to the main area with all the police
I
to
have
calm
a
her
question
down.
for you.
Yes?
Have you ever met a child named Carl yet?
No.
Have you ever met a biker girl named Claire?
No. I've only met one person that isn't a player character, and it's my superior officer, Frank, who the DM's avatar is Lonk. Lonk from Pennsylvania. And so my over time my superior officer turned from Frank to Frank. So me and him were just hanging out in the lobby with this probably infected child that I'm probably gonna have to shoot in the face.
Did you check
Yeah.
the child for bites?
I couldn't. She's covered in blood already, and I can't just feel her up. I'm not a paramedic, so I can't just get away with that.
Throw her in a tub of water, see what remains.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Where am I gonna get... Whatever. Anyway,
Hose.
so I'm a rookie police officer. Another friend of mine, or my brother's, is orphan obsessed with knives. And another one is just a random office clerk who just carrying around an X-Acto knife for some reason. I guess whatever. She needed a weapon, so we got her one that didn't sort of fit. And my brother is the highlight of this one. He is a Russian man, very strong, very sex. That is this entire character. That's it.
It's a pretty good character. But
He's dressed in a dirty tracksuit, and he wears a lot of belts.
I love it.
And his shoes are literally fucking Nikes.
okay.
He dresses like
Later on, we're going to be talking about best story concepts. That guy's story is the best concept I've ever heard.
He dresses like Nico Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4.
His name is Nico Bellic, actually. That was where it came from.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I wound up waking up next to a woman, go me, I guess, and she attacked
Yay.
me in the first 30 minutes of the game because she had turned in
if
her
you're into
sleep.
that, you know.
Apparently, I'm a good enough lay that she died.
God damn it.
Yeah, and so I did that, but my brother once again stole the show and had someone pound at his door. So we grabbed a baseball bat and answered the door. The guy lunged at him, and he swung at his head and he rolled really good and really bad at the same time and wound up shattering the guy's skull and the baseball bat. Yeah. That was, yeah.
That's
So
how
now
you do
he
it.
has Rocky, a rock with a smiley face on it, as his weapon.
I need to be kept up to date on this character's happenings.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Next, he went out into the hall and tried to go down the stairs of his crappy apartment. He lives on the 10th floor of a roach motel, effectively. And so he had to fight a few zombies, and wound up wasting, like, I don't know, 9 of his 12 shots for his revolver he got. It also jammed somehow. Revolver jamming. Yeah. And then he rolled a 1 on his perception, the best roll you can do, so he knows everything in the building now.
Fucking Daredevil all of a sudden.
Yeah, nothing is allowed to sneak up on him anymore because of that roll. And that was pretty much it. That was, yeah. We've had 2 sessions, and that's as far as we've gotten.
Russian Daredevil in a tracksuit.
I love that character
Great.
so much.
I love him so much.
I need an artist to draw.
Make sure you put him in the Daredevil mask, just, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
And that's my week, pretty much. It hasn't been a very busy week, but it's been fun, I suppose.
Alright, Zero.
Alright, so I made some notes this week, so I have some stuff to talk about.
Okay.
So I have a funny story that kind of makes no sense. So I was going to Carl's Jr. to get some dinner because we didn't have any food. We didn't have access to any food at the house at the time. Like, we couldn't make food. I'll talk about that later, but...
You wouldn't have any access to food in Carl's Jr. either.
So I just pulled through, and I order, like, you know, just like a burger, and I go up there, and I give the guy my card. He's like, "You want anything? You want any sauces?" I'm like, "No, I don't want any sauces." He's like, "You sure? You sure you don't want any sauces?" I'm like, "No. You're positive?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting some sauces at home." And we just, like, laugh at it a little bit, right? And then he comes back with my food, and he's like, "You want any?" And he's like, "You want anything else?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want any sauces." He's like, "Oh, okay." And he hands me my food. He's like, "I'm gonna throw some barbecue in there anyways." I'm like, "Oh, what having?" Right? And I get home and open the bag, and lo and behold, 2 things of barbecue sauce are right there on top of it. And I just break down laughing right there. It was a weird experience where we were both just laughing. I don't understand why.
It was one of those kind of days, I guess.
It was 2 idiots just, like, trying to have a transaction. It was glorious.
Okay.
And that's it for that story.
Okay.
um, but also, this week my house has been under construction, and by that I mean they're ripping out all the downstairs tiles and replacing them with new ones. So dust everywhere in the air, into your lungs, all up in the place.
Yummy.
And construction guys working downstairs so you can't go down, and the fridge is unplugged, and the dryer and washer are also unplugged. So you can't clean your clothes, and all our food has been moved into the garage fridge that we have. So, yeah, but to get there you have to move through the construction area, which you can't always do.
At least you still have a working fridge, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's about the highlight. You know, like earlier this week they had plasticed everything off, so we couldn't access any drawers or anything. We don't have access to the dishwasher right now either, because that had to get unplugged. So we've just been like, everything's plastic and paper now, and we have to microwave things.
Yay!
Yay! Like my dad grilled some stuff because he could. That's about it. But you know, any dishes that we make, we have to hand wash, which you know it's a bit troublesome. But on the other hand, these new tiles are gonna look great, right?
Yay!
they're going to be clean at the least.
At the least. Also, I recently got Hyrule Warriors. The Dynasty Warriors and Zelda crossover. And I have to say, it's a lot of fun. Like, it is a lot of fun. Just, every character feels so unique, and all the combos that they have, it's just really fun. I mean, if you're a Zelda fan, it's like the game for you, because they make so many little nods to the series and so many little, you know, just everything in there.
It's the Sonic Generations version of Zelda.
It's like a love letter, basically, to Zelda fans, and it's really great. The gameplay is super fast. It's super good. I mean, there's not much.
Gameplay as Dynasty Warriors.
Not completely. Like it
Basically.
feels very Zelda-ish in its own way, if that makes sense.
Sure,
Like-
it does.
Like, I would say you play it before you judge it as, oh, it's just Dynasty Warriors with the Zelda reskin, because it feels kind of like a Zelda game too. It's weird to fully describe it. So
might have something to do with all the Zelda assets that they used.
yeah, but no, there's gameplay elements too that are similar to Zelda, but it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it to anybody who's a Zelda fan or just wants another mindless beat 'em up at times. I mean, obviously there's going to be some strategy involved with all the keeps taking and stuff, and the adventure mode is super hard and challenging because every map is just ridiculous, and the bosses, oh my gosh, the bosses that they have, freaking fighting the giant bosses in that game is a pain in the butt because it's just so tough when you first start out. Like one boss, like just one attack decreases your health by like half, which sucks. But yeah, that game's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying that. I also started playing Dark Souls 2 again because I downloaded the DLC.
Cool.
And I have to say, after playing Dark Souls 1 for a period of time, Dark Souls 2 is frighteningly easy. Like, I went in there and I just automatically respect because I was like, I didn't know what I was doing the first time I went through this. And then I go through and everything's just dying, and I'm like, why is circle strafing so effective? Like, it shouldn't be this effective to just walk around them in a circle.
Wait, it's effective in Dark Souls 2? Or do you
Yeah.
mean 1?
Dark Souls 2, it's effective. Because there's
I
so
have
many
no
human
idea
enemies.
what you're talking about. It's garbage in 2. For certain enemies, anyway. The tracking
Only
is
very
too good.
specific enemies, and those you want to dodge anyway. So.
Yeah. I mean, Dark Souls 1 had some very unique bosses, but I'm just like, it's human boss after human boss after human boss of Dark Souls 2. You know, it kind of is a weird sort of, it doesn't feel right type thing. So, I understand people's complaints with that now, with Dark Souls 2. at least a little bit. And that about does it for my week. Oh, other than the fact that I freaking passed out while staring at my laptop last night and didn't set an alarm, so I overslept through the manga thing.
For anyone wondering, that's why he wasn't part of it.
Yeah, my body does this weird thing nowadays where if I stay up too late, it just knocks me out. Normally, I wouldn't do that. Normally, I was more insomniac.
I have never done that.
Nope.
Tell a lie. I apparently did that once when I was at university and was up all night doing a project.
I wasn't even up all
At the
night.
last
I
minute.
was up to maybe almost 1, and I passed out.
Yeah, I did that in class. I actually did the cliche of sleeping through class. I snore, by the way. I'm
But
sure that was great fun for everyone else.
yeah, I don't understand what happened or what's been happening, because I just keep falling asleep while I'm in the middle of doing something. So, yeah, I blame college. That's what I'm gonna do. I blame college.
Yeah.
And that's about it for my week.
Okay. My week. Alright, first things first. We've finally pretty much figured out what we're going to do for Patreon rewards. So, if you were wondering, pretty simple. You donate $1. We will absolutely give you a shout out every month in an episode of the podcast. $1, that's all it takes. Whoever's crunching stuff, stop it. $5 will get you a 2,500 word commissioned work from one of us. There are 4 of these in total that we'll give out. Because, that has the potential to overwork us if we actually suddenly remarkably get popular, or this idea is that people really latch onto. That would be a bad thing, and that could get bad. So, there will be 4 of those max that we give out. And the last one, $20. Gets you a guest spot on the podcast for 1 episode. And we are giving away 1 of those per month. So, the way that's going to work is the highest donators, get the rewards. So, if you, for example, donate $40 and someone else donates $20, then you, the $40 donator, will get the guest spot on the podcast, and the $20 donator will get a commission. Is how it's going to work, basically. So, yeah, that's how that's going to work. If you feel like donating, we would really appreciate it. That's about it for that.
Yep.
Anyone else got any other last minute ideas before I finalize this and put it up on the page?
A glossy 8x10 of me shirtless for a $50 commission.
Yes, let's do physical things because that means a lot more work. No ideas? Okay.
Nope. Sorry.
Not at the present moment.
Alright, so, what else did I do this week? Alright, so I read The Seventh Horcrux. It was a recommendation from last week. Voldemort's memories get absorbed into Harry and he sort of becomes Voldemort, but not really. It was pretty interesting, for the most part. Did the first-person perspective very well because it always took Harry, Voldemort's perspective on events, so he would always assume that when people just stopped talking to him, they were basking in his excellence or something stupid like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is pretty good. That's a very good example of how to do first-person perspectives. Always take their perspective over what is actually happening. Unfortunately, I got to about 6th year, and it's doing canon relationships. Great. That still creeps me out to the point where I can't read it, unfortunately. Even with the weird characters and relationships that already exist in that fic, which are very strange, and with the fact that Hermione is actually being portrayed as a functioning psychopath in that fic, it still weirds me out. Incidentally, the whole psychopath interpretation is shaky.
Yeah, it's not
mostly-
portrayed amazingly, but
It's because it assumes that any consequences of her actions are always assumed to be subconsciously intentional. Like, she always means for the worst possible things to happen, even when she couldn't possibly have predicted that would be an outcome. So it's shaky. I don't buy it, but you know, it's handled decently, I guess. So, whatever. I am currently wearing wearable wrist weights. I am in ridiculously bad shape, so this has brought me to a realization. You know that bullshit with fucking Rock Lee is the best example. Fucking, he's wearing weights and stuff, and then all of a sudden he takes them off and he's a super amazing fighter without them.
Yeah.
That's totally bullshit, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 You should just put weights all over your entire body and then try to go through your day.
I do that like all the time.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to be wearing those things for weeks before you see any kind of
I need to
gain
be
when you
wearing
take
them
them
for
off,
weeks
I
before I
guess.
can actually wear them for weeks.
Do the
I can't
Goku
even wear
thing
them all
with
day without ending up being sore next day.
do
so,
the
yeah.
Goku thing with weighted clothing. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I'm not going to be wearing light clothing, thank you very much.
I wear a restriction vest. That means I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah, so, I don't... Yeah, that Rock Lee thing is bullshit. For one thing, if you hit someone while you're wearing weights, it's going to make you hit harder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like mass times velocity or something. I don't know the exact formula.
As
I
long as your
failed
punch
physics.
isn't slowed down by them, yeah. That,
Yeah, you have to hit
Well,
them.
if
you
you're
have to
if
hit
you're
them as
kicking
fast.
somebody with weights, if you're doing it downwards, then you have gravity on your side, and it's more powerful. Like an axe kick would be more powerful with weights.
But if you're just punching
Okay.
someone straight up, if you're punching someone straight up while you're wearing weights or something, it has to be as fast of a punch as you throw without weights.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Also, the aspect of, you know, you take off the weights after you've been wearing them while fighting, you're going to be knackered. Because that's dumb. Anyway. What else have I been doing this week? Fallout New Vegas. So, Slice's inconsequential rambling from last week.
Yeah.
That's all I can call it. None of us know what that was supposed to be. It, you know, sparked a craving, so I've been playing Fallout New Vegas. It was great for a long time. Played a lot of great mods and stuff. It's great.
then what always happens happened.
So there was a glitch. I went to Vault 22. I had the multiple companions perk, so I had like 4 companions with me. I had Eddie and Boone, Veronica, and Cass. And we all go into Vault 22, and fucking, I hate that place. It's the first time I actually went there, and I hate it.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate
it's
it.
terrible.
Stupid. Yeah.
It's not my favorite place at all.
It's a maze, and it has enemies that you can't target until they decide they're not hiding anymore. Yeah, that sucks.
You
That's
can
really
shoot
bad.
them. I mean, you just can't VATS
You can
aim
shoot
for
them, you just can't VATS them, and you can't really see them because they're camouflaged into the grass. So that kind of sucks. But yeah, we go in, and we get lost in the maze, and they start running after an enemy that none of us can find. And I move into a different area because I'm sick of that shit and move on, and all of a sudden, they're all my companions are sort of just wandering aimlessly and walking away from me. So that was a bit strange. So I finished the quest and all the bullshit that you have to do in that place. Get out, go back to the Lucky 38, and they're still doing it. So it comes off as really strange and kind of funny when you think about it, because it's like you can stop them and tell them to follow you, and they're like, yeah, okay, I'll totally, don't worry, I got your back. And then they will immediately turn around and walk in the other direction. It's like they're being seriously passive aggressive.
Did you read the page for the mod that you got? Like, were there any like known glitches for it?
Were there any known? It's Fallout New Vegas. There are glitches anyway. In
I mean,
fact,
glitches for
there
the
are
mod
gl- There are
specifically.
glitches for the companions just fucking up and doing whatever they feel like anyway.
in the
So
vanilla game. Yeah.
there are hundreds of different ways it could have gone wrong, and I'm not even going to try and guess what they are.
The only
The only
fix for
problem
that
is-
I can think of without going into the editor and console commands and stuff is sending your companions back, like going into a DLC area where they all get kind of ejected back to where they started.
Yeah, there's another solution that someone on the message board posted, which was try and revive them while they're still alive, and it might reset their AI. If that fails, kill them with the console, and then revive them. But that will muck up any quests that you have going for them, so I didn't do that, I just started over.
Yeah.
And added more mods, which was interesting.
Not a good idea, really. I mean,
That's fine, it's not a big deal. It's like, just because it crashed once with a few mods doesn't mean it's going to crash again with a load more. It's crazy
yeah.
logic, Slicer.
There's a reason I stuck to like 12, and none of them changed
you
a
have
whole
no
lot.
ambition.
It was kind of surprising when my female companion suddenly got naked and started dancing in front of me. That was a little surprising. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm rebuilding towns and shit, and I'm getting echoes of my own voice in the call for some reason, and I'm rebuilding the Lucky 38 and turning it into a real casino, and Slicer's just having ladies dance for him.
Yeah, pretty much.
See, this is what ambition means to you. Hmm?
Yeah, I don't touch the 38 casino mods because I know they're buggy, real buggy.
No, the Rebuild 38 is pretty solid, actually. I'm still getting those echoes, by the way, so whoever the fuck's doing that. That's pretty much... Oh, and like I said before the call, I've been listening to... I installed Conelrad Radio, which adds another radio station, which is like... in the 40s and 50s, where they had special messages from like Bob Hope and Johnny Cash and people like that, telling you how to react in case of nuclear attack and things like that. And it has all of these strange... It gives you a strange perspective on what that period of history was like for the Americans, for you Yanks over there. When all of your songs started to be about how Russia were being bastards and went crying to mommy when Hitler was attacking them and stuff, and making light of like 25 million Russians dying for some reason. It's really fucking gross, but you know.
Yeah, there's anger on both sides with that, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're
Yeah,
American
so-
and it's all about us. It's pretty much, there you go.
Yeah, that pretty much defined the period, kind of. Even worse was the song about saying atomic power is absolutely nothing compared to the might and glory of God.
Yeah.
That was a song.
That
Nuclear
okay.
fire is nothing. When God comes down and brings his wrath, you are gonna fucking feel it, okay? Was the kind of message that song was going for.
I'm fine with that.
Moving on. I'm not even touching that with the 10 pole. Ironically, a Jesus quote from South Park. Anyway. So, we're going to go into the fucking regular topics now. So, the way we're going to run the podcast from now on, because we don't have the manga recap anymore, and it's not going to be a default 2 hours-ish kind of thing. What we're going to do, every week, we're going to have 3 topics. And recommendations. And we'll go on for however long it takes, up to 2 hours at most. So, we're probably not going to do 2-hour podcasts anymore, but, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! No, it's a terrible idea. I was going to suggest that we have like a Patreon where we'll suggest a topic and we will definitely do it, but people suggest topics anyway and we do them anyway, so it makes no difference. So, first topic is believable narrative.
Again.
Is this one? Right, this was when we actually do the topic rather than Slicer rambling about Fallout New Vegas for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, believable narrative, making things feel believable. Not necessarily realistic, but believable within the narrative itself.
Mm-hmm.
So you give people magic powers. They have magic powers. They don't suddenly have a cybermech suit or anything stupid like that.
Like, you know, you have to look into what's kind of within the realm of possibility of the world that you're writing for. Like, for example, you know, okay, waboom, you've got magic powers. Now all of a sudden they have mastery over magic powers and start creating their own spells, and everything starts going crazy. They instantly become the most powerful person ever. That's not believable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, if we're going to go with the magic example, they learn magic. They gain magic, whatever. To instantly be amazing at it stretches the suspension of disbelief a little bit too far. So
To instantly be amazing at anything
Yeah.
is stretching a little bit too far. Unless it's that character's trait, I guess, is to instantly be amazing at everything, but then you've got like a sort of a Gary Stu right there.
yeah,
You know, what are you gonna do? What's that person's drawbacks?
why don't you just jump to Gary Stu rather than just going with a generic Mary Sue?
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah. So take the story in believable directions. So you have your basic world. The world as it is now. It's fine. It's perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but it is what it is, and everyone understands the definitions of what everything is in that world, right? So then you layer other things on top of it. So you have magic, or you have aliens, or you have fucking a secret war between secret societies or something. And this becomes your plot. And this becomes the basis of your plot. Set this up as early as you can. If you're adding any kind of fantastical element, set it up at the beginning.
This is first chapter stuff, like,
Not
seriously.
necessarily first chapter,
Well,
but very, very early.
Very early. Doesn't have to be first chapter, but at least in, like, the beginning portions of your story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't just have your character stumble blindly in an undefined world. Well, you could, but it wouldn't be very interesting. Unless
Yeah, so-
you did it very interestingly. I'm not
You
good at
want to
talking.
establish what it is, and establish as many rules as you feel comfortable with as quickly as you can, so you can get them out of the way before the plot actually gets going.
Yeah, and don't break those rules for your own convenience all willy-nilly that you establish for that world.
Not even just the rules. Never bend your world around the narrative, because that,
Yeah.
again, it stretches suspension of disbelief when things don't happen realistically a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's exceptions. When you get, like, fucking action movies and you have fucking a helicopter crash, like, about 20 feet away from the main character. And he doesn't die, because it's 20 feet away. Sure, that's plenty of distance, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like,
But, you
it's
know, that,
important what's believable, not
Yeah.
necessarily what's realistic. It's what the audience can accept.
yeah,
That is
and
an
with action
acceptable
movies,
distance. Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
and with action movies, you go into that knowing what an action movie will be like, with lots of explosions and stuff. So pretty much most things, it's pretty loose. They can do whatever, they can do most of the things they want with that if they know it's an action movie beforehand. But like, say you're doing something like romance, and all of a sudden, you know, near the end, aliens show up, and they're going to ruin everything. What?
That would be strange. I imagine there are, in fact, romance films that have done that, though. I'm not saying whether that's believable or not, but you can imagine how a lot of audience would be quirking eyebrows, for example,
Yeah.
at that kind of plot twist.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of plot twists are what tend to either kind of make or break the believability.
Mm.
Because you take that plot twist and you can use it to make everything more believable. Like, this was what was really going on. It'll be like, oh, okay, I can understand that. Or it's like, no, This is what was going on. There were alien rabbits and robot monkeys all over the place, hiding in your drawers. And if you read in that, you're like, what? What?
Hmm.
You know, it's all about thinking what could be possible and how it fits into your world that you defined, rather making your narrative fit into your world and your world fit around your narrative.
And it's good to take your audience into account with this kind of thing as well. So, for example, you're making a great martial arts film that is going to be watched predominantly by martial artists or aspiring martial artists.
Yeah.
To take my earlier example into account, don't do the fucking dropping the weights to make yourself a better fighter thing, because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
That really wouldn't be realistic, no.
Yeah, they would not accept... Actual martial artists, actual fighters would not accept that because it's bullshit.
Yeah, you have to take into account your target demographic, whether you're writing or what you're making or, anything.
Yeah. But Joe Blogs in fucking the fucking pictures, just seeing the film because he's fucking bored and wants to see something interesting, just wants to see some folks fucking kicking each other's heads in. That's perfectly fine. He'd accept that.
You
Why
got
not?
super British there for a second. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of the intention. I don't know why. I just felt like it. Yeah. So. Yeah. So. Take into account the audience. Take into account the world. Take into account all of the things you've already established to make sure that the things that you're doing with the plot, with the narrative, are acceptable so people will believe them.
Yeah.
Realistic isn't important. Believable is.
Mm-hmm. So, you create a story. Yeah, Slicer? Okay. You create a story, you create your world. First, though, you create your world, you create your rules for that world. What's going on behind the scenes, best to have that in mind, and how that fits in. And then you start the story, and you start your narrative taking place in that world, and you see how it affects your world, but it's contained within your world. Your rules aren't going to change because of the narrative, typically. Like, if there's a planet where all the creatures are dead, your character isn't going to suddenly come to this planet, and the second they walk in, there's going to be, like, a whole colony of people. Unless it's like, everybody's dead. There's no reason why. It's been established that everybody's dead. Why are people still alive?
That's more contradicting the narrative,
Yeah,
yes?
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Plot hole or something like that?
Yeah. Like, I mean, you could use that for a sort of a plot twist, but really you want to be able to try to keep your rules to the extent that it's believable.
Yeah. And if you are breaking them, make sure there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
So make it a plot twist later on, but know you're going to make it a plot twist, rather than just having it there just because you want it to be there.
Yeah. Alright.
And unless you're writing nonfiction, you don't need to stick to realism. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you're writing a nature thing, or a history thing, Hitler is not going to call upon moon prism power. It's just, that's not going to work.
It'd be hilarious, though.
It would, yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, come to think of it, no, it wouldn't be that hilarious because of what he would probably use it for. But
Why
for those
moon
couple of
prism
seconds
power
where he
is
first
something?
starts, you would laugh.
The imagery would be hilarious, not the what happens next.
Not the outcome, no. Yeah, so... Also, I imagine he wouldn't be too pleased with everyone laughing at him. His ultimate power.
He would make all the little boys dress up like that, so he wouldn't feel so like, it's just me. It's everybody else now has to dress like this. And do this.
Yeah, I could see that. But this is off topic, I think.
A little bit.
We're talking about Sailor Hitler, okay?
It's great.
Yeah.
Don't Google that.
I was going to do a rendition of the theme song, but I'm not going to, thinking about what the lyrics would be.
Let's not do that.
No. So, has anyone got anything else to add for this topic? Believable narrative was the topic, just to remind you, after that little...
Oh god,
Such
there's
a-
images. Why did I
Yeah.
do that?
God.
I told you not to Google it.
My eyes.
Why doesn't anyone listen to me?
Okay, now that he said that, I have to look it up.
Oh,
Here you guys go.
I'm telling you.
For the link dump! For the link dump!
Oh, you're sick.
Oh god, there's actually an autocomplete Hitler Sailor Moon.
Yep.
Oh god. Top 3 most horrifying things ever.
Mm-hmm.
There's also Peter Griffin in there, but that's not a big deal.
Uh,
There's also... Oh, Christ. There's also one that appears to be shipping Hitler with Sailor Moon.
I saw one that shipped Hitler with Yu-Gi-Oh! With Yugi. Yeah. That's okay.
There's a cosplay.
No. Don't do it. I'm telling you, don't look at it.
I'm already looking at it. I can't... It's a Google image search. It just shows the images. That's...
Please X out of that so we can continue.
So if anyone wants to look that up, you feel free. I'm not gonna fucking link that shit. Jesus Christ. Fucking motorcycle. Right, okay. Next topic.
Nobody ever listens to me.
You know,
I had to do it.
anytime
It was for the
anybody's
link dump. It was for the link dump.
anytime anybody says don't Google that, the first thing somebody does is Google that.
First thing Slicer does is Google that. Everyone else kind of ignored him.
I Googled it too. I Googled it first, I think.
Okay. So wordcountitis, which is, by the way, a perfect term for this because itis is actually a suffix that means growth,
Yeah, it's what my
expansion,
beta called it.
swelling.
Wordcountitis.
swelling that leads to uncomfortableness and pain and stuff. So, an infection. Wordcountitis is... Oh, Zero, you explain it because it's your thing.
This is something I suffer from, and a lot of people suffer from, where
Yo.
you use too many words to describe one thing. Mainly, it's overly padding your story when you really don't have to, and inflating your word count. Like, say for example, you spend like a lot of the time you spend like 3 sentences to describe something because you feel like it needs to be more. You can cover it more, but really you can cover it with 1 sentence just fine. Like after he told me I was having this problem with my chapter, I went through and deleted a lot of stuff. I went down 2,000 words in my chapter of just words that were not necessary that I could just remove to make the story flow faster. Because when you have an overinflated like word count, then it slows down the narrative. And sometimes that might be a good thing, but most of the time it's really not.
I'm guilty of a slightly different form of that in that a lot of people I beta read for, they skimp on on details and sentences wind up a little short. So I just add extra words, pretty much, to pad things out. Not whole sentences, but just additions to existing sentences. And sometimes that gets a little awkward sounding.
Yeah.
So
Like, if you
moderation
can- if
is
you-
good there.
If you can remove a paragraph and use it later, or not even use it later, but remove it, and the narrative would be totally fine, you know, then do it. Because although having a big word count is nice, having a big word count with lots of progression in the story is better. And when most of your words come from that padding and that additional stuff, it's really not as entertaining as you might believe it to be to read.
Not as fulfilling either.
Yeah. Like, I read 15,000 words and we got how many things done, you know? Like, you want to focus on making sure your story is... It flows at a reasonable pace. and putting in more words unnecessarily, or just putting in more words to try to explain something which may not be as important as you think. You know, your audience isn't dumb, typically.
Yeah. If I could just interject something. While all of that is true and kind of important, it's not the most important thing that you get that done while you're writing.
Yeah.
It's not something... If you feel comfortable writing, and the way that you write, you tend to inflate your word count just naturally. It's just how you write.
Yeah.
Then absolutely keep doing as you're doing. But get an editor.
Yeah.
Get a beta. Get someone who will look it over for you and try and trim it down a little bit afterwards.
Actually, yeah.
Because while it seems more efficient, just on the surface, to not bother writing all of these extra words, but the truth is you're slowing yourself down by thinking about trying to limit your word count.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a thing you want to do. You want to, when you're writing, you want to write the way that feels most comfortable to you, so that you can get the most done as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Once you're done with the chapter, or even the fic in total, if it's a one-shot or whatever, just then you can go back and touch things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My beta, he pointed out that I was having the problem, and I went and I fixed it mostly on myself. I didn't necessarily, he didn't remove things for me, but he was just like, dude, you're having a problem here. It kind of feels overinflated at this point in the story. So it's just like, okay. And then I had the free reign to go and choose what I need to keep or need to remove.
He made the right decision there. As a beta reader, you really don't know what to take away, because some of that might be important.
Yeah. So, you know, have somebody to tell you, hey, your word count's a little bit overinflated here. Maybe you want to look at it and see what you can remove. Because sometimes you're going to have some areas that are so, that feel overinflated, but it's just important detail after important detail. And there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, you can try to wording things differently, but that's about all you can do.
It's probably a bit different, but try to keep from ranting. When your character's from ranting a lot.
Yeah, ranting is... like, unless it's that character's nature to rant a lot, don't make them rant. Yeah. So...
Also, I just want to point out, this is not a problem for amateur writers. This is something professionals do a lot as well. Just spend ages waffling on about completely unimportant, mundane stuff. Like, my sister pointed out once when she was reading this classic romance novel or something, Jane Austen or Jane Eyre or something, I don't know, that it spent like 3 pages describing one tree. While I'm sure it was a very important tree, it must have been to take up 3 pages. I don't think it was worth 3 pages just to describe it.
Not really.
Yeah. So this is something that that a lot of people have, and definitely not just people that are doing it for fun. This is it's a pretty common thing. So, you know, don't worry about it too much if you suffer, quote unquote, with this problem.
Now, you see, I don't pad or intentionally pad on purpose or anything, but I don't feel right if my chapter does not number at least 10,000 words. I don't know what that implies.
That implies that you like to have a quantifiable amount of progress in every chapter, and you quantify that by word count rather than any actual progress you make in the chapter as far as the narrative goes, which is fine. It's a lot easier to quantify that using word count than it is with actual narrative. So, I can understand that.
I just typically end up setting a goal of... Nowadays, I just end up setting a goal of, here's what I want to get with this chapter. And I tend to, because I want to put more scenes in and I want to put more stuff in, the word count just ends up being high nowadays. Like, when I first started writing, 4,000 words I set as a minimum. And then I raised that to 6,000 words. And now my chapters are over 10,000 words, and I'm not even trying to, like, say, this is what I want my word count to be. I'm just trying to write now. And I feel like that's a good way to be, don't restrict yourself.
Don't push
yeah.
yourself either. It's
Yeah.
both ends of the scale.
Like it's fine if a chapter's 8,000 words instead of 10,000. You know, as long as you make the progress you need to make for that chapter.
I think a lot of people get trapped in that, actually. They want to set a very definite word count for their chapters for themselves, but sometimes the chapter just doesn't want to end at that point, or and wants to end earlier. And sometimes you just gotta cut it short. It's fine.
Okay. Anyone got anything else to say for this topic? Wordcountitis.
Nope. I talked a lot.
Yeah. I got all the points out I wanted to.
Alright. Third and final topic, and we're at this at about an hour, so, you know, like I said, we're not going to go for 2 hours. Best story concept. Now, you might remember this topic from last week. This is like the rehash topic, isn't it? The
little bit.
rehash fucking episode. Anyway, you might remember this topic when we did it last week, and we interpreted it probably incorrectly as our best topics, because we couldn't remember what this topic actually was. So we just went with whatever our best story idea was, and I don't even remember what most of them were. Including mine. So, what we're actually doing this week, as far as best story concept goes, is discussing which story concepts, just as a concept, not including the major narrative twists and turns and whatever, not including necessarily much of the characters and their personalities, but just the basic concept of what the story is and would be, and what is the best one that we've seen. So, who's got any good ideas?
I don't have one, or off the top of my head that I've seen, but I have one that I would like to see or think would be interesting. Like the rise of the Gote 13 in Serite for Bleach.
Okay, this was just what I was just saying. Like, this is ones we've seen, but okay.
I wish I could see that. I wish someone would try and write that. That's just all I'd say.
I actually there's a game on Kickstarter that I've been supporting, and I recently got past the limit, and also was greenlit for Steam, and it's called Nefarious, and it focuses on the villain as the main character, basically kidnapping the princess, and the interaction that goes on while the hero is trying to fight the villain. Like the other 2/3 of the story of what the princess is doing, and you can interact with her while she's captive, and what the villain is doing. And I like a story that really focuses on the stuff that you don't normally see in other stories, and that definitely, focuses on some things that I really am interested about.
Anyone else?
We talked about that Sword Art Online one where it was different animes for different floors, and I really like that one.
It's a bit shallow, but okay.
It has, it's a simple concept, but it has a lot of potential to it.
Or different video games for every floor.
Or any,
that as well.
Any universe, like anime or anything.
Freaking Legend of Zelda floor where you have to do all the puzzles. Have to get the hook shot. Get through all the dungeons. Everybody's fighting for the key items.
People would end up hating Legend of Zelda by the end of that. Having to actually do all of that crap yourself?
Yeah.
Worse, imagine having to do Tomb Raider. With all the fucking sliding block puzzles and shit.
Tetris level.
Sonic the Hedgehog level where everybody runs super fast and they can't control it.
That'd be weird.
Defeat Eggman. How? You jump into him and hit him with your face.
Let's see.
Story concepts.
I like Bioshock.
Mm.
Like I say, if we just take out all of the narrative twists and turns and such and things like that, take on the basic concept of what that would be. So, a very wealthy and opinionated man decides he wants to build a city that will run based on his own personal philosophies. And he can't do that on the surface because, well,
Government.
all of them, yes. Governments. Every single one. So he builds it the only place he feels he can, underwater.
No government there.
Hey, there's Atlantis.
Yeah, because they're still relevant and around.
I don't think Aquaman would take too kindly to you saying that.
Fish powers.
You know what I
go.
like? You know what? Mario, Super Mario Bros. Because think about it. It's an American Italian plumber who lives in New York who all of a sudden finds himself in a weird fantasy world, and he eats a poisonous mushroom which gives
I
you
think you're adding some
hallucinations.
fan in there.
Yeah, is this legit?
No,
Is that
no.
a story?
He legit actually was a Italian American plumber who was actually in some stories, in some versions, he was doing some plumbing and he fell down a pipe and ended up in the Super Mario Land thing. That's actually part of the actual canon.
I'm calling bullshit on this. I want someone to confirm.
I'm looking.
There is actual Mario lore, believe it or not. And the mushroom that he eats to grow bigger is based off a mushroom which gives you hallucinations that makes you feel like you're growing bigger or everything else is shrinking.
Also Alice in Wonderland, but, you know...
Yeah. There is actual, like, depending if you're going on the cartoon or the movie or the actual, like, some of the stuff that you've seen, typically he is an Italian-American plumber, because if you think about it, like, oh gosh, there's a whole video on Mario Canon that I saw the other day. I can't remember. But he was born on Yoshi's Island and ended up, or rather he was born, Stork was carrying him, dropped him on Yoshi's Island, and he had some adventures there, and then took him the rest of the way all the way to our world, apparently. Or something like that.
Yeah, I still call bullshit.
I will link you to a video or something, man. Because the whole canon thing with Mario is super, super weird and interesting at the same time.
Interesting... might be overselling it.
Because you don't know, is he on drugs or is this real? But the basic story concept is a man's trying to save a princess from a giant turtle while eating mushrooms and flowers.
Yeah, the basic concept is hero tries to save princess from villain. Not to be overly reductive about this, but that's your story concept that you're selling us here.
I like the added parts of he's eating mushrooms. And flowers. But no, I really like, more so than anything, for me the best story concept is one that hasn't been done before, and Mario's not one of those. But it's something like where it focuses, like I said with Nefarious, it focuses on not just the villain, but also you get to interact with the princesses between missions in the game. Well, well, you captured them. And depending on how you interact with them, you can change the ending of the story. Which is really interesting. So, I like seeing original stuff, if anything. Like, I liked Stanley Parable because the concept of that was to explore a concept.
Yeah, that was a little bit meta.
Yeah. Which is fine.
Hmm. What other good concepts are out there? Not Bioshock Infinite, because it's Bioshock, but with Infinite slapped on it. So.
Pretty much.
Also, sky instead of water.
Oh, Fallout has a lot of good lore behind it.
Oh yeah.
Established lore, at least.
It's got a
Where-
good
Yeah.
setting. It makes it very easy
Yeah.
to make stories about it.
Yes. Basic concept was very, very good. It's after the end of the world.
hmm And
It's
really,
after the end of a world,
yeah,
where 50s Americana was still the height of culture in 2077.
yeah, and it's not trying to sell it like you're going to save the entire world. It's like you're going to save what you can, and you're going to destroy what you can.
Mm.
Like what you do doesn't affect the entire world; just affects your immediate area.
If that.
Yeah, which is a nice change of pace rather than every single JRPG, which ends with you fighting some sort of god character for the sake of
Yeah.
the world,
hmm
and you use the power of friendship.
By the way, I just want to say that new Final Fantasy 15, I think it is. See the trailer for that shit?
No?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
It looks interesting. Like, something they haven't done before.
I know. It looks so great.
I'm
You can drive-
terrified.
you can
Square
dri-
Enix are trying new concepts.
Is
You
it
can
something
drive
I'm
in a
gonna
car
play?
and fight monsters.
It's a fucking road trip, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
So that excites me.
I might
It's
actually end up
different.
playing that one. I might end up playing a Final Fantasy game.
Weird.
I played 13 and that was a mistake. Don't let me down with 15. Because 14 is online and nobody cares about it.
12 would have been good, but it's just fucking Vaughn. I hate Vaughn so much. Fuck Vaughn. I like the game, hate Vaughn.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Vaughn's
speaking of
gone.
story concepts, I don't like the story concept for 13 too. Where the main quote that they keep saying is, "In order to change the past, you must change the future."
What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't mean
I
anything.
don't know. they try to fully explain it, but like it doesn't make sense. Because in the game, if you go to the future when you change things, it does affect things in the past for no reason. I'm not joking.
Time doesn't
That's-
work like that.
It
No.
doesn't. But apparently you're messing with time travel stuff or something, and then this random guy appears, and then this random guy's best friend, and you never really know the full story behind that. And then
I
lightning
I cryogenically froze myself because I wanted to meet King Arthur and I thought time was cyclical.
lightning's
Nope.
some sort of
Straight line.
and lightning's all become some sort of like Valkyrie goddess type thing. You don't know what's going on with her either, and it's not really fully explained to an extent where it's good.
We don't need to talk about how terrible Final Fantasy is. I think we've gone over that quite enough. I just thought it was nice to say something nice about Final Fantasy for once. It was.
Yeah, 15. You give us hope.
Hope. Undeserved hope, but hope nonetheless.
You don't deserve our patronage, but you might get it anyways.
Deus Ex. Every conspiracy theory is true. How's that for a story concept?
Oh man, I like that. It's just, yep, it's all true. There you go.
Roswell Greys, true. The Illuminati, true. Knights Templar, true. Majestic 12, also true. Alligators in the sewers, true. Seriously, it's fucking... Well, it's not alligators, but it's very, very close to being alligators. Yeah, that was... As a concept, that's pretty damn great. Execution was good too, obviously.
There was one story I read, and it was called the Arithmetic or Arithmetician, right? And the concept was that the magic of that world was run by math.
Okay.
So, like, in order to do things, it was all based heavily in calculations. It was really cool. But the sequel to that book doesn't come out till 2015, and the book came out like 2012 or 2013. So I'm really sad.
I might read that.
Aw.
That sounds kind of awesome, actually.
It does sound interesting.
So it's like an interesting sort of magic, in that it's not like I don't know how to fully describe it, but it was a really cool read.
Okay, give me an example of a spell or something.
I haven't
If-
read that book in so long.
Well, don't
It's
worry
the
about it.
Arithmetist, I think, is what's called. I will link you guys to a synopsis of it, so you can.
Oh god, we were doing so well without having to fucking link anything.
the magical art of arithmetics, basically. And
That's arithmetic.
It's an interesting world.
Arithmetics. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's there's a lot of talk about chalk in this. It's interesting. It's kind of funny. It's a unique concept. I will tell you this. It is very unique. But basically, arithmetists have the power to infuse life into two-dimensional figures known as chalklings. And these chalklings are these creatures that basically run around any surface, and then they can basically kind of eat you. And there's nothing you can do against them because they're on the surface, and even if you try to erase them, like, you can't erase, like, thousands of these drawings on the ground that are trying to eat you, or on the walls. So it's...
So...
Okay, I got one that I really need to see a lot more. How about this? Pokemon. They are wild animals with superpowers. Why are they not more dangerous than they are?
That's not a new concept. That's done all the time. That's just
I
not
didn't
very
say it
good.
was a new concept. I just said it was a good concept.
You know what I like?
They need to kill things.
I like something I like in Hyrule Warriors. You get the chance to play as Ganondorf in the story mode, and it starts with him gaining power. Like, you have to go conquer places as Ganondorf to get some power and get some troops, so you can go conquer Hyrule.
Wow, listen to how excited I am about this.
You know, I like it. Shut up. Playing as Ganondorf is awesome. He's so powerful.
He's lame.
But that glorious Hyrule Warriors hair. Have you seen how long that hair is? It extends like halfway down his back.
It's not better than Jewel Box mustache, and that's all that matters.
His mustache just extends all the way into his hair, and his clothes, and his everything.
His mustache has panels and fight scenes he's not even in.
His mustache grows depending on how he feels. Or shrinks.
His
From
power
panel to panel.
his power is directly proportionate to how much of his mustache is shown in every panel.
In order to actually beat him, you have to destroy his mustache, but it's indestructible.
You have to go back in time and kill him before he gains his first hair. That's the only way to kill him.
You have to kill him as a preteen, so he hasn't hit puberty yet.
Yeah. It's the only way.
Oh, but you undershoot with the time travel, so you end up like having to face him when he's just got stubble and he's just got some bum fluff on his fucking.
And he's like so powerful.
Still so powerful. Shitty little fake mustache that can't quite grow right. Oh.
Freaking Whitebeard's mustache too. Some powerful mustaches in anime.
If you can bayonet someone with a fucking mustache, that's pretty badass.
Whitebeard caused earthquakes every time he brushed his mustache.
Yeah. He may have gotten a hole put through him, and he might have, been dealt so much combat damage, but the one thing that was never damaged was his mustache.
Yeah, he got half his face ripped off. Not a mark on that mustache, man.
Nope.
Is that true? I didn't even notice that.
Yes, like, Akainu, the fucking lava admiral, like, took half his face off with, like, a lava claw thing. Didn't touch the mustache.
Didn't touch the mustache. The mustache was where his real life force was at. That's why he fought so long.
Anyway, I guess we're done with that topic.
That got out of
So we're
hand.
moving on to the end of the podcast, which is recommendations. I'm guessing Zero's is arithmetist or whatever it was.
No.
No?
No.
Didn't you not have one?
I have a recommendation.
Oh, okay. What is it then?
It's Dungeon ni Die wo Modomeru. It's a very long title.
Link.
Alright. Here's this. I can try saying the name again, but it's really
Link.
long. I put it there. Be quiet. Basically, it's a light novel where the concept is there's this big tower dungeon that extends deep underground and is kind of messing with humanity. So they go and so basically the gods come down from heaven. They're like, you know what, we'll help you with this. So they form familias with people, and the gods all form their own separate groups. And, you know, with that happened, then every, like, member of their familia has a status on their back, like, tattooed. Like a sort of a game type of status. And as they fight, you know, it gets updated. And their, like, stats increase. And to level up, they need to do, like, a great feat or something. But it's a very interesting concept. I really like it. There's harem elements to it because there's always harem elements to everything nowadays. Most things that are light novels. But it's a very strong concept. The main character has a skill where he will have accelerated growth as long as he has a single-minded pursuit of something. Like, as long as his feelings remain unchanged, then he can keep growing.
So as long as he's Naruto, he's okay, and you keep going, getting more powerful.
He
yay.
does actually, his character does actually change, like, he does actually develop through the story. Because it starts with him basically having to get saved because he's super weak. And he is initially a coward. Just a really big coward who runs away all the time. And he does develop past that. So there is development, unlike Naruto. It's just as long as he has a goal, then he will keep, you know, growing faster. So, I read the first, like, 3 light novels, which I found on a website. Not the one that I linked, but a different website of this translation group. And it's really... It does get really interesting. Like, you may have some problems with it at first, but it does develop, and he's not Naruto. I'll say that now. Because, yeah, that's my recommendation.
Okay. Ken, you got anything?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured because you'd been busy, you wouldn't have anything.
Nah, I actually stumbled across something. It is called The Sun Soul, and it is a straight Pokemon fic.
Oh god, that one.
You read that one?
Yeah.
I take it you're not a fan.
No, not at all.
Is this an anti-rec?
No, I actually like
No?
it.
Okay.
So Pokemon, they're actually dangerous.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah, Gyarados. They'll actually fuck up your entire town and kill everyone in it. Snorlax, when they wake up, they actually will kill stuff and go on rampages. And basically, it makes out the entire world of Pokemon to be like a world of crap. Every town is like basically a settlement on a frontier. And the Pokemon everywhere are super dangerous. And they actually put a reason behind the Pokedex existing. Because every town's a frontier, and people in one place, like certain gyms, they know how to work with certain Pokemon and everything, so they know how to work with certain strategies and stuff, but they don't know a lot about exactly how to fight them or type advantages and stuff like that. So the point behind the Pokedex being made was so that there could be a more complete encyclopedia of knowledge on how to deal with Pokemon, so less people would die and humanity would have an actual fighting chance of not getting wiped out.
Yeah, I've heard it mentioned actually in Pokemon X and Y in the Pokedex entries. It says this Pokemon has the power to crush a tank, or this Pokemon destroys telephone poles. Like,
yeah, they really do that in this.
Yeah, and this is more like, yeah, Pokemon they kind of destroy things all the time. Like, if you see a Snorlax sleeping on your house, you don't have a house.
This isn't just like that. It's like if you see a Snorlax sleeping on your house, everyone
Don't
needs to get the
pick it
fuck
up.
out of that town. No,
Get
it's not.
out.
It's not that you don't have a house anymore. It's that everyone needs to get the fuck out of the town that Snorlax is sleeping in. When it wakes up, you're all gonna die.
Fair enough.
Pretty much.
And it's raw. That story is raw, and I dig it.
Yeah, no, the setting is fine. It's the characters that I hate.
OCs?
No.
No, it's
No?
just the path they decided to take a lot of the characters.
Oh.
I can't really say too much without spoiling it, but Misty is very different.
Okay.
That's saying very. That's saying something.
I was going to guess that the characters would be different because they live in a world where Pokemon kill people all the time.
And Team Rocket is actually really. No, I mean, at the actual two Team Rocket members that everyone knows, they're actually really fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesse and James are really fucked up. And
I mean-
dangerous.
I didn't want to spoil anything, but I can say how she's different if you guys want.
Feel like?
She was a Team Rocket member for a while. And she's not all the way out of it, sort of. It's complicated.
He's talking about Misty.
Yeah, I know.
I'm okay with this concept. You know, even if the characters end up different, you know, if you're going with this concept, then the characters would.
And the
end up
characters would be
different.
different, yeah.
Like the question is it unreasonably different? And I'm gonna read this and find out.
It's been a few years since I actually read it, but I think the case was when she left home, she didn't have anything, so she had to sign up as to survive, basically.
No, it was something else actually in this one.
It's 39 chapters and complete.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's more than twice the length of my longest story.
Oh.
You know what? It's also twice the chapter. So
Zero has word count envy.
I have a pretty
So
good
much
word count.
bigger than his.
I got like over 170,000 words for 20 chapters. Give me a break.
Anyway, Slicer, you got one?
Maybe. Let me check. Oh, well, okay, I got one. Although this should be read by most people already, being from a popular artist. Robs is writing a Harry Potter fic called Don't Look Back in Anger. And after they rescue Sirius, I believe... No, not Sirius. After Harry's recovering in the hospital wing after getting back from the graveyard scene in year 4, Hermione says something pointing out the incompetence of the minister, and Harry gets arrested for it. And so it's really good at the butterfly effect. Like, that's a pretty major thing to happen, but it doesn't seem like it in the long run of things. And characters change over time. It's pretty good. I like it. I got a link.
I saw it once, and I immediately turned it away because it's a fucking Oasis quote. It's an Oasis song title, in fact.
I was about to start singing it, but then I don't want to get sued. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Love Oasis.
Something
I think we're
wrong with
slightly
you.
popular enough to get sued.
I don't.
We got over 100 views. That must mean we're getting somewhere, right?
We got bitched out by speedrunners, music people, or whatever the fuck. So.
Yeah. We're popular enough to get sued.
That's not a good
Right.
thing. Why are you saying this like it's a good thing?
Because we're popular.
Growing
People
pains,
like
Slicer.
us. Somebody in the comments said that Slicer was the best cast member.
That was my brother.
I know. I guess as much. But see, you have a fan that's your brother.
At least
Your
your brother
brother
is.
is your
At
fan.
least your brother is your fan. Because my brother been like, yeah, fuck that Kenshi guy. Kick him off the show. I'm so jealous that your brother's supportive on the internet.
Yeah, I suppose it is pretty awesome.
Aww. My recommendation. Alright, sod it. I Can't Be a Huntsman by King of Plot Bunnies. It is a crossover between Ruby and My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute.
Oh, that's
Wow.
an interesting
Full
combination.
disclosure, I have never read or seen or whatever My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. I don't even know what it is.
But my little sister can't be this cute.
Yeah,
can't-
so I assume main character of the fucking etc. title is he's languishing in obscurity after finishing his schooling and decides he doesn't want to be a huntsman, while his sister Kirino, yes, Kirino, I'm basically reading the first chapter as we're going,
That's
is
it, yeah.
accepted to Beacon Academy, the prestigious huntsman huntresses school, 2 years early. So same as Ruby and Canon. And then what's his name? Kosaka gets mixed up in the Ruby robbery thing that goes on, and basically gets blackmailed into going to the Beacon as well. And it's 2 chapters, so there isn't much to it yet, but it's okay, so, I'll see how it goes.
So the whole plot behind My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute is that the main character and doesn't get along with his sister because they've always just had an icy relationship until he finds a DVD case of magical girl anime in his house's entranceway and finds out that his sister is an otaku. And
Oh, yeah.
he has to
She's
keep
got
her
it bad.
secret.
That's mostly accurate. It's not Magical Girl in this case.
Well,
It's
everything. It was everything. Otaku's like everything anime. Super. Not just magical girl.
She was really into dating sims as well.
Yeah.
That's close. It was a very specific kind of dating sim.
She had the adult ones as well.
Eroge.
That was
Yeah.
actually an entire
It's a
episode.
very
they
specific
devoted
kind
to
of that specific kind of dating sim.
I-
She's into incest, is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure she had a lot of those. It's been a while since I've seen that show.
Oh yeah, she has an obsession with her little sister themed Eroge.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's incorporated into the fic. I honestly have no idea where this is going, so I'll keep reading it, I guess. I don't have much this week, so it's
Yeah,
just one
the
go.
brother is a very apathetic kind of character unless he has a goal set before him that he actually cares about.
Also, pretty much followed along, mostly.
He's what?
It follows along with that particular character type as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So, I guess that's it for the episode of the podcast. Woohoo!
Yay.
Right.
You sound so unexcited.
I'm never
The
excited
new and
about
improved
anything.
podcast. Sort of.
Huh?
I slept through everything is exciting though.
Yeah, a
I
little
like
bit.
the recaps.
So, we're about an hour and a half, so that's okay. Like I said, it's shorter because we don't have the manga recap stuff. This will probably be about 2 and whatever hours. So, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 54. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can do so through the Blogspot page, through the comments, through our own personal profiles on fanfiction.net, or through the YouTube channel through the comments. If you would like to donate to Patreon, we would very much appreciate it. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 54. Bye now.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.